Jake and Crystal Jones were elated parents of 2 children until their financial problem turned their happiness into misery. They could no longer afford to take care of their children, so they gave the kids to Mrs. Jones' parents. The grandparents raised their grandchildren during this rough time. When the Jones recovered from the financial rough patch, they went to ask for their children back, but the grandparents refused to give them back. With a judge's decision, the Jones assumed that they would gain full custody and be back with their children before long. For this reason, they borrowed $1,000 from a close friend for a trip to Walmart and lawyer expenses. Unfortunately, their assumption was far from right. We spoke to the discouraged mother, who furiously remarked,
"We had so much planned out for our children and bought them so much just to make them happy. Well, we just sat there waiting and waiting and waiting."
The judge's order was not mailed for 7 months. By this time, the children pretty much outgrew most of the things the parents had bought them.
"We lost so much rather than gaining it back,"
Mr. Jones said.
"The courts are deteriorating just because they simply choose what cases to take care of."
In this case, Mr. Jones is wrong. According to David Boas, co-chairman of a commission formed by the American Bar Association, says that the justice system's funding has been decreasing in constant dollars for at least 2 decades. He also added an important detail.
"We are now at the point where funding failures are not merely causing inconvenience, annoyances, and burdens. The current funding failures are resulting in failure to deliver basic justice."
As a matter of fact, in the last 3 years, 31 states have laid off court employees, 33 have stopped filling clerk vacancies, and 22 reduced court operating hours. On the other hand, other state courts around the country have found many ways, some unusual, to deal with the cuts. In Mount Gilead, Ohio, the Moore County Municipal Court, like many others, is not working a 4-day week. Even so, the court announced that it will not take any case fillings for 3 months. This was because the court didn't have enough money for paper. Fortunately, the community donated enough paper to prevent them from shutting down. Others misunderstood what type of paper they asked for and gave toilet paper instead. To sum up, the courts of our country are in danger of shutting down. Failure to get sufficient funding will result in closing of our courts. When that begins to happen, there will be no way to resolve any problems, even the simplest. This will result in an increase of crime just because people will take justice in their own hands. Finally, no freedom, because courts were the buildings which laws resided in. They are the reason why we all get along. If laws would no longer exist, our right to freedom would be gone.